For the One Piece Music Symphony, I genuinely am a big hater of all things concert, all things fun. I love hating, okay? But this one was so well done. Kohei Tanaka, the composer of One Piece, was so amazing and so heartfelt and endearing. It was nice. Welcome back, guys. We're talking the One Piece Music Symphony that happened at the Dolby Theatre just this last Saturday in Hollywood, California, the land of the famous and the rich. It was a mega cool event, lots of fun to have, little expensive, little crap merch. Really unique though, and really touching. It almost melted my old boomer heart. So let's talk about it. So what is the One Piece Music Symphony? So the One Piece Music Symphony is basically this traveling, I don't believe it's a troupe in terms of the orchestra, but Kohei Tanaka goes to these very famous symphony locations. They've done Paris, they've done all over Japan, China they did Los Angeles, they did Chicago. They've been all over the place, and basically he will go there. They will play the original soundtrack of One Piece while scenes from the show appear behind them, and they're doing it full live orchestra, whole thing. Kohei Tanaka himself comes out and plays on the piano, sings some of the songs. For ours, there was a special guest. I'll get to that in a little bit. But they do it all live in front of a huge theater of just One Piece fans. Huge, huge, huge theater. And that was part of what was so incredible about going to this event. So what does something like the One Piece Music Symphony cost? Now, for me, I did buy the tickets last minute. They do have to go through Ticketmaster, so you know you're going to get screwed on the fees. I paid about $25.50 in fees. I paid $23 for parking to go on top of that as well, because finding parking in Los Angeles, Hollywood, San Diego, anything metropolitan is going to suck dick in the United States. Okay, if this is a worldwide video you're watching from outside there, it's horrible. So for this one, I paid $109 for 2 tickets. Now, it is worth noting, I bought these tickets very, very last minute. I actually saw this go on sale almost instantly. Wasn't sure I wanted to go. I was going to try and get a VIP ticket, which unfortunately I wasn't able to get. VIP would have got you a meet and greet with Kohei Tanaka himself, which would have been so cool. After seeing him on stage and seeing what kind of guy he was, that would have been amazing. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it, so I wasn't even sure if I was going to go. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a really cool experience. I like going big when I do these things. I love the VIP. I love... It's for you guys. Like, at the end of the day, it's for you guys. It's for me. It's content. It's good fun. So I wasn't really gonna go because the only seats were nosebleeds, way up. So I checked every once in a while. I checked this one day. Orchestra seats, which if you've not been, orchestra is right there where the orchestra is. Normally like right in front. My seat was front row of the whole thing, just a little bit off to the left, almost dead center. It was an amazing seat, and I paid $109 for 2 seats, one for me, one for my girlfriend, and it was such good seating. We were right there. The only thing I would potentially argue is we couldn't see the whole orchestra just because we were literally below them. But there were times where like Kohei Tanaka and our special guests were going around and talking to the audience. Their translator was given, and they were directly talking to us because we were right there. They were literally like, "Hey, is it cool if this guy stage dives?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, cool." It was awesome. So I've talked to a couple of people who actually work at a like a musical theater, similar setup to the Dolby Theatre that we went to. And they always say a lot of tickets will bounce back. People will buy these tickets, put them on hold, and then they'll refund them when they find out they can't go, just because they buy them just in case. So you always want to keep checking. Even when you buy your ticket, keep checking, and see if something better comes up. Because in this case, we got a fucking sick seat. So we rolled up to the Dolby Theatre proper. We were outside of the theater at 6 o'clock. The doors of the Dolby Theatre opened at 7, and the show started at 8. Now, I did not know what kind of merch was going to be there. I didn't know if there was merch to be had, period. I actually talked with somebody at my work, and they said that they saw a lot of promotion for this, which is how I found it on Instagram and TikTok and things like that. But it just didn't look official. The advertisement kind of looked not the greatest, and I've personally seen a lot of these concerts. I've never been to one, but I've seen a lot of promotion for these concerts for like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, where they'll actually play the movie, but they'll do the soundtrack live. And I've always wanted to go to one. So I saw the One Piece one. I really wanted to go, even though the promotional imagery was not the best. It didn't really give you a lot of comfort thinking that this is official, which it is an official partnership with Toei. So it is an actual thing, which I did get a program for the musical symphony, and you'll see that some of the stuff clearly looks like it's red flag material. It really is. But the event was amazing. So if you are planning to go in the future, please do go. I do recommend getting there at 6 because the way it worked out, the Dolby Theatre does have 2 entrances, one on the top, one on the bottom. There's 2 floors of this thing. We were on the top floor. The main entrance was on the bottom floor. We were just kind of hanging around, and then they're like, "Hey, if you're here for One Piece, line up here." So we all ran over to get there. We were super close to the front. Walked in casual, go through the metal detector, do our thing. And when I got to there, I'm like just taking around like, damn, the Dolby Theatre is nice. Really, really nice. Like, this is bougie. Some people are showing dressed up in nice suits and tuxes and things like that. We look over the balcony. Instantly, I see the merch booth, and the line is already going ape shit, just circling. So quickly, I run down the stairs. We're able to get in line as it just is one rap. We're at the end of the last rap. So they only give you an hour from the doors opening to get to your seat. And if you guys have never been to a musical, you've never been to a theater, anything like that, like a traditional theater, okay? I'm not talking movie theater, you tricksters out there, okay? They will not let you leave. Well, you can leave whenever you want. They ask that you be respectful and wait for a little intermission in between the songs and then dip out so you don't ruin anybody else's experience. But they will not let you back in until the song that is on right now is stopped. So if you go out to use the restroom, if you go out to try and get merch, you go out to get snacks, which by the way, no snacks, no drinks, no foods allowed in the theater at all, period. So if you go out, you're waiting and they will stop you at the door. They will tell you you're not going. They have door attendants at each door. They will open the door for you and tell you you're allowed to go when the song is over. Which, love it or hate it, it did help keep the immersion. Obviously, I was front row, so I didn't care shit about immersion. Everybody was behind me, which there was a couple of funny things that happened with the audience, but still, I was just looking straight forward, having a great time, enjoying the whole thing. So what did they have for merch? Merch, you're looking at this shirt right here. They had this. Now, this is going to be one of the red flags that I give you right here. If I saw this as like, hey, this is the merch that we're going to have, and they were actually showing me this, I'd be like, that looks kind of scandalous and not something that I would normally trust. It is, I mean, it's a nice Abercrombie & Fitch shirt. That's kind of if you had any friends in high school that got into printing shirts, this is probably what they used first. And it's just an iron on, like, you take your iron, go whoosh, 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 and you just put this picture on it. It's a shirt that this is going to fall off in a couple times throwing it through the wash. It is just what it is. I've had lots of shirts before for mystery boxes, anime subscriptions, things like that. And it's always this type. It's always just a quick little press onto it and it's going to fall instantly. So after this, maybe I'll never wear it again. I will just keep it as a souvenir. They did have another option for a shirt. Where was the cast altogether? Both the shirts cost you about $25 each. They were selling a key holder, and then they were selling something else. Look at the picture, but the most important thing is they had the program. Now, when you go to these musicals, normally they hand you the program. Like this, that's part of the reason of going. Program. You have to buy the program at the One Piece Musical Symphony, okay? And it's $20. Normally, you get it included in your ticket. I've gone to fucking many of nice concert halls, and you get them. That's part of it. You take it home as a souvenir. You gotta buy this one, all right? And that being said, it is quality. It is printed well. With an exception, I was looking through this because I wanted to see who our surprise guest was. I can't remember what his name was, and I will look really foolish when I tell you who it was. But it's very well made. This is a very nice, the quality material that's printed on. It's full color. They tell you the set list here for everything, which we'll get into. They have the little definitions of who's on the crew. Obviously, all Wano pictures because it does go up to Wano. And then they tell you a little bit of information about like the story of One Piece, and all this is fine. A lot of his stuff's like Googled pictures and things like that. So I'm gonna put some work into this, okay? Now here's where it kind of falls apart here, because I was like, man, it actually is quality, and the people that were selling it, they were nice, they were lovely. They asked for tips, of course, just for handing you your merch, but it is what it is, tip service, I guess. And you get to the end here, right? Like real high quality, real amazing pictures. I don't know what happened on this last one here. We're gonna zoom in on this nice. So we got a nice glossy one of Wano right here. We're gonna go back one page. Look at the imagery on this. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but someone took a real low scale image and pumped that shit up so you can see the pixels on these guys. You can straight up see them. That's the only page that I noticed that being a problem. That to me is like, okay, someone's printing this the first time printing. They did no proofing whatsoever. Maybe they proofed all the other images and they're like, yep, good enough. No one took a look at that one. Goldie Roger looks like he's from a SNES game, straight up. I was like taking on the programs, any of that kind of stuff that we go to. So I had to buy one. And of course I bought the shirt so I could have it. Didn't know that it was going to be kind of this low quality, but it gets the job done. It's something nice to take home with you. Whatever. So let's talk a little bit about the actual show now. It was a completely sold out show, which was really, really amazing. The Dolby Theatre is huge, like I mentioned before. It was so cool seeing all the One Piece fans show up. There's different people cosplaying, different people kind of doing like stealth cosplays, other people dressed really nicely, like Gear 5 is about to show up on the screen. It was really, really cool, and I gotta give it to the One Piece fans. They were incredibly polite, really, really polite. They were incredibly supportive of everybody that was on stage, from the people that were in the actual orchestra to the, what is it called, the person in the theater that does the stick waving and leads everybody on. That was not Kohei Tanaka. It was someone else that was doing it for the most part. He did do one song at the very end, which, by the way, spoiler alert, they did 3 fucking encores. And encores have never been the same for me since I saw this. I believe it was on fucking Reddit, and they said that encores are just peekaboo for adults. Now every time I fucking see an encore, I'm just like, what? This is stupid. Just play the song. I get it. I think 1 encore, cool. 2 encores, you're playing with us. 3 encores, fuck you. So there was 2 acts to this, which is classic in theater. It was a 3-hour long show, and the first one is an hour and a half, 15-minute intermission, and then the second one, hour and a half, and then it's done. They're selling merch before the show, in the intermission for 15 minutes, where there's no goddamn way you're gonna get any sort of merch for 15 minutes. And if you miss coming back, they will lock you out until the song is over. You'll miss the first song, which the first act was all OST, which instrumentals, no singing, all the classic sounds that you'd hear, and it goes all the way from Dressrosa, Zoe, Whole Cake Island, and then of course Wano. So it was super cool seeing that. They custom cut all the scenes, so it's not like you're just watching one episode of the anime and they're playing the songs to it. It's custom cut montages to go to each song. It was really well done. I did find, obviously, I love One Piece as much as the next guy. I'm not your avid, hungry fan for this. I think One Piece is great. I think it's one of the greatest shows probably of all time, and I think it's really, really fantastic. I'm not, aggro as fuck about it, but the fans in the audience were so fucking amazing, and they clapped, like they cheered for every single one when they recognized what was going on, even for the OSTs. Me watching it and not being a really big music guy, not being a really big concert guy in general, the OSTs I felt like was a little long. It's a 3-hour long thing. First hour and a half is all just nice little melodies. It's like, it's cool, and you're watching the scenes happen on screen. It's cool, but it wasn't until Act 2 that shit popped off. Now, let me read you a little bit of the set list here that we have for what we saw. Okay, well, I'm going to try my best on the first half. We had Sai Sai Psycho. We had Luffy to Sanji, We Are, which is a melody version of the song. We have Chojo Senso main title, but with Dash Rayleigh. A lot of cool stuff. That's just a few songs. They literally did like 15 songs in the first act, and it was incredible. They got cheers from each one. Everybody seemed like they were really having a good time. They said no filming during any part of it. The moment it starts, no filming, no photography, no nothing. Just enjoy the show. This is very special. They don't want you to leak it online. Just enjoy being here. And everybody was super respectful about that, except in the middle, someone was taking pictures with their flash. I wasn't seeing it because I'm like looking forward, having a good time. But the audience about fucking rioted that this person was doing it. Flash, flash, flash. And you just hear somebody, turn off your fucking flash. And then the whole audience goes, boo, turn it off, turn it off. That was the only part that I felt like generally somebody was about to get beat up and thrown off the top ledge. Now, here's a little sad thing. A lot of people left in the intermission to go use the restroom. A lot of you guys were taking real long shits. Some people were ballsy enough to try to get any sort of merch, which once again, on the intermission, the line started going up the staircase. They finally fixed it. They didn't do a zigzaggy thing. They sent them straight up the staircase to the second floor and then wrapped it up there. That being said, I don't know who you guys were trying to wait in the intermission, which was only 15 minutes long. I've never heard of an intermission being so short. 15 minutes long, and immediately, boom, went right back to where it was. And I barely made it in just in time. I went out to use the restroom, barely made it back. People got left out. And at the start of Act 2 is when Kohei Tanaka, he made a couple appearances in the first one, just kind of thanking everybody and saying how hype of a crowd it was. He's never had this experience with this good of a crowd, which I thought was super special and unique. This is where we get his special guest, Hiroshi Kitadani. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He is the singer for We Are for One Piece. And it was fucking insane. Like, Act 2 came out, both of them came out like, hey, we're going to sing some songs for you guys. They fucking busted that song out. The audience went absolutely ape shit. Hiroshi Kitadani and Kohei Tanaka were both so lovable the whole time. They did interviews. They were talking to each other. They would do a couple songs of singing. They would leave and go back to some more OST. They come back out, bust out another song again. So some people, when they came out the first time, they were locked out. They couldn't come in. They missed it. And it was like, I turned to my girlfriend when on the second act started. I was like, this is like a whole, we're like in a concert now. It went to a nice like musical symphony before. Now we're in a full on rock concert, which this guy, by the way, I Googled it to try to figure out, because I can't remember what his name was, unfortunately. He's also the guy that sings the first One Punch Man opening. Incredible. And he was here in Los Angeles at Hollywood, and they were all saying how amazing the crowd was. Everybody was cheering. Everybody was clapping. It was such a good time. And that's one of those things where I feel like, if you live your life online, you're going to see the anime community as being smelly, toxic. Nobody has a good time. They don't know boundaries. It's not until you go to something like this where we can all share our appreciation of this product, of this series, of One Piece, and everybody is there to have a good time. Every single person. And it was truly, truly incredible. By the time the show ended, my hands hurt from clapping so much. From fucking clapping so much, my hands hurt. And they had us do sing-alongs to We Are. They did all kinds of stuff. Let me hit you with a couple of stuff from the set list for Act 2, because that's where the bangers are going to be. That's where you're going to know. They did Over the Top. They did, the Wano Kuni medley. Obviously, they did We Go. family, We Are, Kaizoku Kaido. They did the Luffy theme. It was Act 2 was banger after banger after banger. If you missed Act 2, you were missing out on the whole thing. So let's talk. Getting to the end of the show here now, it was truly a magical experience. I wish I could talk more about it, but I mean, we watched people play the OST, and then Kohei Tanaka and Hiroshi Kitadani came out, and they just fucking blew our brains. And they were interacting with the crowd. They were so funny. They were telling jokes about being here. It was incredible. And they left. This is when we got to the 3 fucking encores. They came out, they did We Are for a, like, almost a single-long, like, version of it, and then they left again. We got a little bit more OSTs when the composer, and they had this composer, I wish I knew her name. She was the one that was leading the whole orchestra for most of the time. She was getting into it. For one of the orchestra, or one of the encores, she came back out wearing a shirt, and she was like, yeah, like, she's part of it, and everybody was having a good time. Everybody. It was incredible. And then they did the 3rd encore. The guy, Kohei Tanaka, came out, was like, oh, I was like, did we forget a song? And the whole crowd was going like, oh, and everybody goes apeshit. And he does it back. Kohei Tanaka does the fucking Brook laugh back. Of course, they end it with Bing Sake. The crowd goes absolutely nuts. Kohei Tanaka is playing the piano on multiple times. The Bing Sake part is truly memorable, and I think everybody knew that was coming. It's like one of the most iconic songs of One Piece, which I think you could argue, but I do think that is the case. And they do a special like bow. They bring everybody out, show them again, and everybody was so lovely. And they wrap up. That's it. I took a couple pictures in the intermission from so you guys can see what the band setup was like. But it was truly, truly a special experience. And I do hope that if you guys see it show up in your city, I think it's worth it. Even if you get nosebleed seats, it is so much fun being in the audience with everybody and being so supportive and everybody having a good time. And you will catch, it's infectious, that like how Ernest and Kohei Tanaka, he's just such a nice guy. And he's just truly like, hey, thank you guys so much for coming. Like, it means a lot to me that you guys are here. I have so much fun. He talked about traveling around the world and how much fun. And, Hollywood, he's here. He never dreamed he would be here. Hiroshi Kitadani, he talks about like he grew up in like a little farm village over in Japan, and now he's over here in Hollywood. It's truly, truly good times. The parking situation was fucked up, but that's to be expected from any sort of concert venue, anything like that. You're gonna have a horrible time, and it's really, really bad. Of course, it's Los Angeles, Hollywood area, so it's to be expected. But the Dolby Theatre, first time there, I had a fantastic time. I thought it was really well set up. Snacks, didn't buy any of them, so can't review any of that, but it is connected to a mall, so we got some Johnny Rockets beforehand. We left. We had an amazing time. Even my girlfriend never watched anything at One Piece, enjoyed it. She said the 2 Japanese guys were just so like cute and so lovey. She loved the whole thing, and the music is just like nice little melodies, and then of course they start rocking out on the second part. So I highly recommend checking it out if you get the chance, especially if you're a rabid One Piece fan. Give it a shot. I think you guys will like it a lot, even if you're not really big into music. This is probably the most positive review I've ever fucking done. But I literally just got back, probably, I slept on it, and now I'm here. And I just still thought it was such a good time. And I truly wish that if you guys were One Piece fans, you guys get a chance to see it, especially with Kohei Tanaka being there. I highly recommend it. With that, if you guys have any questions about the event, of course, feel free to leave them in the comments, tweet them at me. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. I do appreciate all the support you guys are giving. And I will see you guys again for our next anime event if that's your jam. If not, check out all of our Bleach content on the channel. We're big Bleach fans. I would love to see a music symphony of Bleach. Of course, we have the Bleach Boys podcast where we're watching Thousands of Blood War every week. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for joining me. Bye, everyone.